Hi, this is Mark H. Williams, the author of Embracing Lilith, and I'm going to do another reading from the Embracing Lilith Myth. This is part 5, so there are 4 parts before this in our YouTube channel, so you may want to go check those out before you get to this part. Chapter 4. The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die." Genesis 3:2-3. Weeks and months went by, and I gained some sense of contentment. Yet Samiel was not exactly what I had hoped for. He seemed cold and distant most of the time, but he never tried to control me. In fact, he tended toward being completely in line with whatever I desired. Somehow, he had all my memories from before we had split him off from myself, and it appeared he could even read my thoughts. He often said or did something before I could even speak it. We joined often in ways Adam never permitted. After a time, I thought even though I hadn't quite found joy, maybe at least I'd found a place where I could exist as myself. One day after an exceptionally long joining, we lay together in our cave, and Samiel said, "I can see you still hurt from what happened with that man Adam." I thought to say no, I no longer care, but I knew better than trying to deceive Samiel. I could lie to myself, but never to him. He would see through my deception immediately. I simply nodded and said yes, feeling a bit ashamed that Adam and his wretched cow Eve still held any sway over my emotions. "It's not just them. You also heard over our mother and father's betrayal as well." He said this so calmly without emotion, but his words stung with an intensity I hadn't expected. I jumped up and began pacing in our cave. "What do you want me to say? Yes, it hurts. You have no idea what it feels like to be unwanted, unloved, and discarded." But I knew he did know, because he knew everything I did. After all, he had experienced it as part of me. Maybe his distance and cold demeanor came from the pain he had felt during those experiences. My rage ignited anew, not just for myself, but for the pain Samiel must have felt as well. As my anger grew, I thought, if only I knew a way to make them see what they have done. Samiel softly said, "What if I do?" We spoke for hours, coming up with a plan to cause strife between Adam and his new wife. I would use my power to shapeshift and infiltrate the garden. I would speak to the woman and make her question their relationship, which would help them both see the pain they had caused. We also agreed that by hurting the human couple, we would also give mother and father a glimpse into what we had experienced. Samiel would assist by being with me in my mind. His mind would ride inside me into the garden, so we could remain undetected. Samiel kissed me, and I felt part of his essence flow into me. He lay down on the floor of our cave, and I knew he was looking out of my eyes with me. I stretched out my wings and took off for Eden. I landed just east of the garden and used the secret name of God to transform myself into a serpent. I slithered into the garden and climbed the tree of knowledge of good and evil. I knew Adam liked to visit the spot because it marked the center of Eden. I rested there, feeling the presence of Samiel in my consciousness, and we waited. Before long, I heard voices and saw Adam and Eve walking hand in hand over to the clearing by the tree. Adam took a seat near one of the rivers that met there and became fascinated with the fish swimming in it. Eve, however, began to walk toward where I hid. When she got close enough to me, I opened my serpent mouth to speak, but nothing would come out. And then I felt my body being taken over. I no longer had control of the serpent body, but I soon understood that Samiel did. He said to the woman, "Did God actually say you shall not eat of the tree in the garden?" And Eve said to him, "We may eat of the fruit of the tree in the garden, but God said you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden. Neither shall you touch it, lest you die." But then Samiel said to the woman, "You will not surely die, for God knows when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." The tree of knowledge of good and evil was not a plant, because Eden is in a spiritual realm. Instead, its fruit was a symbol of self-awareness, something I had eaten of long ago, even though I had not picked it from the tree itself. I knew this fruit would not be a good thing for Adam or his woman, and God would not be pleased. Inside my head, I tried screaming for Samiel to stop, screaming for Eve to walk away, screaming to Adam to do something. No words pushed past my lips, except for those Samiel wished to say. Eve suddenly reached up, took the fruit, and ate it. After taking a bite, she called to Adam and gave him the fruit, which he ate. I could immediately see the difference in both of them. Their eyes had been opened, and they knew what I already knew. They saw duality, separation, and they also knew fear. That's the end of this reading. I'll pick it up again in another video. Hopefully you enjoy this. Take care.